Well, Marvel Studios is bringing back the special presentation, and they're bringing Frank Castle with them. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about the official confirmation of the return of the special presentation with the Punisher coming next year. Well, up until this point, Marvel Studios has only ever released 2 of their special presentations, and honestly, both of them were pretty great. Now, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special and Werewolf by Night both got rave reviews, but it's been more than 2.5 years since they dropped. Now, when Marvel started shuffling things around, one of the first things we heard what got clipped was these special presentations. The cost for their projects was very high, and obviously Marvel was looking to turn down the volume as they refocused on quality, and this was the first thing that got clipped. Now, initially this looked like it could have been somewhat of a failed experiment for Marvel, but it turns out they are making a grand return to Marvel Television according to Marvel head of TV and streaming, Brad Winderbaum. Now, recently, Winderbaum was talking to the team at comicbook.com about Bernthal's return as Frank Castle in the upcoming Daredevil Born Again series. And during that conversation, he actually revealed, quote, Bernthal is working on a special presentation with us about that character. So not only are we getting a special presentation, but we actually have an official Punisher project inside the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, at this point, there's really no confirmation on who's going to write and direct, but we have heard word that Bernthal himself is involved with the project. It makes a lot of sense that this will also be a TVMA project, lining up closely with Daredevil Born Again, which we are hearing is very, very violent and goes beyond any other Disney Plus show to date. Now, the question really is whether this special presentation would lead to him showing up in other Marvel projects or maybe even his own series. Recently, there were some rumors that he could be part of Spider-Man 4, and given the history of the Punisher character, that does make a lot of logical sense on where he would show up. Now, quite honestly, there's a lot to take away from this, and a special presentation for the Punisher really could be exactly what Marvel needs. This is a street-level deal, so it would be relatively cheap to produce, especially compared to, say, Guardians of the Galaxy or Werewolf by Night. And it could even be shot while Season 2 of Born Again is in production, which brings me to the sort of interesting possibilities and details. Now, one thing Winderbaum keeps on talking about is annual releases for Marvel Studios. And we do know Season 2 of Daredevil is definitely going to come a year after the release of the upcoming show, so in March of 2026. Now, what I find curious here is the previous special presentations were kind of aligned with holidays. Werewolf by Night came out around Halloween, and obviously the Guardians of the Galaxy special came out around Christmas. So where does this leave the Punisher? Well, I actually think this Punisher special presentation will probably be used to set up the second season of Born Again. And that suggests to me that it could very well be released in February, and if I'm picking any dates, Valentine's Day makes a lot of sense. There is the famous mob hit known as the Valentine's Day Massacre, and I could completely see Marvel doing some sort of play on that event, but incorporating Frank Castle, but once again centering around the holiday to kind of keep with the theme of the previous special presentations Marvel brought our way. Now, regardless, this means Frank Castle is cementing his future within the MCU, and it also suggests to me that whatever Bernthal brings to Frank in his upcoming season definitely landed, and Marvel wants more of it. Now, does this mean he'll get his own series down the road? Well, that I am unsure of, but with return of Daredevil and the Punisher, and word from Winderbaum that the rest of those Defender characters are coming back, Marvel clearly has some kind of grand plans for the character. Personally, I think Bernthal is the best person to ever bring the character to life. I still feel like Season 2 of Daredevil really gave us the best look at Frank Castle, but his solo show definitely had its moments, and integrating him a little deeper into the MCU, well, that will definitely work, and will bring him butting heads with some of Marvel's other heroes, particularly Spider-Man, which, like I mentioned, could definitely be where he shows up after Season 2 of Born Again. We're going to watch this Punisher news really, really carefully. I can't wait to see where this goes, and I am totally happy the special presentation is finding its way back. I think street-level heroes are exactly where this works, and it might be how Marvel reintroduces the rest of those Netflix characters. If that actually happens, we're going to have to wait and see. Now, before you take off though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily Marvel and DC videos, and we want to be your place for all the real, truthful superhero news, and we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently so you are really, really in the know.